One of the biggest struggles for a club owner is converting trials into paid members. All right, it's one of the biggest struggles that club owners have. You've got leads coming in the door, you've got trials, people walking in, wanting to join your classes, but they're just not converting to memberships at a rate that you're happy about. And basically you're leaving money on the table and letting people walk out the door. I'm going to show you some of the systems that we've put in place to get to 80% of converting of our trials to memberships. Check this out. Before we get into that though, I was where you are. I started my club in 2011 with 3 people in a small room and a hope and a prayer. And today I'm standing in our second club that we opened 6 months ago. At the start, it was really difficult. I knew how to build websites. I knew how to get, the websites going, and the social media was starting out, but I didn't know how to advertise. Then in 2016, I made a change and I got somebody to help me learn how to advertise. And I had an influx of trials, but my conversion rate was down like 35 to 45%. The number one biggest issue that I had is I did not have an automated process. To be honest, I didn't even have a real process, but I didn't have a process that didn't suck up huge amounts of my time following up with people, making sure that they were happy, making sure that they were getting into it. But you don't want to be spending hours and hours every week following up with people. What I've done is I've built a system that follows up with people based on triggers. So what we do is when people come in, they do a paid trial. After the first class, we've set it up so it automatically sends them a message saying, how was your first class? A week in, it sends them an email. After 10 days, we're prompted to give them a phone call. After 14 days, it sends them an email saying, would you like a membership offer? And none of it is a really, really heavy sales process. And that's the number one thing, the frustration that you will get if you constantly think you're hustling, constantly feel like you're harassing people to buy from you, rather than it just being the part of the process of having awesome classes, having awesome members, and then just asking people if they want to continue. So right now you've probably got your website, you've got your social media, everything's set up, Google Maps, everything's coming in for trials, but they're just not converting into memberships, which is really, really frustrating because this process here is just not refined. So now if you have a proper process with something that I've put together, we've got all of these trials coming in using a proper funnel that converts 75 to 80% of them into members. How much of a difference would that make to your business? So what are the 3 steps to get this to happen? You've got to implement a CRM. You've got to implement a sales process that is really easy. And you've got to set up a bunch of automations that do a lot of the work for you and have a visual way to measure that. If you implement all 3 of these things, it'll free up time for you to focus on refining the ads, refining the process, and refining the little tiny details to make the conversions work. How much would you prefer that than what's currently working for you? My point is, it doesn't have to be difficult, it just has to be put in place. So have a think about it. These are the 3 things that you've got to do. Implement a CRM, implement a sales process that is simple and it works for you, that isn't salesy, and implement automations to allow you to free up some time. How does that all sound? Anyway, keep watching. We'll see you online soon.